Hello and welcome to this end-to-end data engineering episode. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how we can perform Git integration with Databricks Notebook. I'm going to be showing you how we can create Git repository, how we can create Git folder, how we can authenticate, how we can create branch and create our codes, match them to the main branch, and how we can also use the data in the main branch to create a Power BI report. And very importantly, I'm going to be showing you how we can revert back to the previous state. So without much talking, let's get started. By the way, if you're new to this channel, please click on the subscribe button and toggle on the bell icon to be informed of the video, because I spend my time to create all these tutorials in order for you to benefit from my knowledge. So let's go into the demonstration. Similar to the last video, we need to create the Git repository where we're going to be committing our codes to. So I'm going to swipe to GitHub, and then I'm going to click on this plus sign to create a new repository. And I'm going to call this one Databricks dash repo. And this is unique and available for me to use. And I'm going to give you a description, demo repo, and I'm going to make it a private repository. And I'm going to initialize the repo with a README file. So check the box and then scroll to the bottom, create repository. Now this is now created. So we need to create a Git folder in Databricks in order to clone the repo to our Databricks workspace. To do that, I'm going to swipe back to my Databricks workspace and then click on the workspace. Now I'm going to click on create a Git folder, and I'm going to provide the Git repository, which is going to automatically detect the Git provider as well as the Git repository name. So to get the Git repository URL, I'm going to come back here and I can see. So I'm going to copy all of this, Control C, come back here, and I'm going to paste. Now, as soon as that is pasted, the Git provider is automatically detected. I can click on this drop down, and then we have the GitHub Enterprise Server, Bitbucket Cloud, Azure DevOps, and so on. So I can also see my repository name. I can choose to rename, but I'm going to maintain this name as the Git folder name. So I'm going to click on create Git folder. Now this is going to require us to authenticate. So we can say the Git repository needs you to sign in. So we're asked to choose one of the two methods below to authenticate with GitHub. Now you can easily use the link Git account with simple clicks to perform the setup. But for this demonstration, I'm going to use the personal access token. So I'm going to use that, and then I'm going to provide my Git provider username or email. So I'm going to type that username here. And then for the token, I'm going to come back to the Git and then click on my icon at the top, click on the settings, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and locate the developer settings. And I'm going to generate the personal access tokens classic token. Click on that. And again, click on the new token. We want to generate a new token classic. And I'm going to call this one Git token. And I'm going to maintain the expiration date. We need to also specify the scope access for our personal token. So I'm going to take this repo, which is really important. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and generate a token. So I can see this is now generated. I'm going to copy it to the clipboard, come back to the Databricks workspace, and I'm going to paste in it and click on save. So successfully saved, credentials updated, and then we can see the Git repository cloned into the Databricks workspace. Absolutely awesome. Now we cannot delete this Databricks repo Git folder because it's actually linked. Now, in order to delete, you need to come to the settings here, and then you go to your linked accounts, and you can see this is linked properly. So you need to delete in order to be able to delete the Git folder. So you can see this is actually giving us the proper Git integration. Awesome. So I'm going to swipe back and let's just make sense of this environment. If you're probably new to all of this, we can see the README file that we used to initialize the Git repository, and then we can see this kebab, which allows us to perform Git, import, download as, copy URL path, rename, move, add to favorites, and move to trash. Now we have the main branch, which is the collaboration branch. So we can create the development branch like the feature branch within this main branch. So I'm going to click on this, and it's going to open the Databricks repo Git folder for me. So again, let's make sense of this environment. We can see we have the main branch, and then we can create a new branch. And then when you click on this kebab, we have the reset, add, merge, and rebase. And then we have the changes. So this way we can see all our changes based on the code. And then we have the settings. We've got the repo ID, Git repository URL, and the Git provider details. So as soon as we start, performing some development work, we're going to be seeing the changes around here, and then we can put in our commit message as well as the description, and then we can commit and push from the feature branch to the main branch. So that's it. I'm going to close this one out. Now, again, I'm going to go back and then we want to create a new branch, and I'm going to call this one feature branch / and I want to call this one create notebook for sales 2023. So this is going to 2023. This is going to be based on the main branch, and then click on create. So this is now created. Afterwards, we can switch back to the Git folder by closing this, and then we should be able to see the feature branch here. Now, in the case if you do not see it, just give this a refresh, and then you wait, and then we should be able to see the feature branch, and then we can also see the README file, which is awesome. Now we want to create a notebook. Now we can create a couple of items like file, query, dashboard, Genie space, even alerts. But let's just, for this demonstration, focus on creating notebook to perform data processing. So click on that. Now I'm going to give this notebook a nice name. I'm going to call this one notebook for data processing. And once I'm done with the naming, I'm going to press enter. Now again, I'm going to make sure that I am within the feature branch. Now I'm going to just copy some code and just walk you through the codes. So let me just copy this code and I'm going to paste in it. So basically we are importing different kind of functions to perform data processing, and then we have this schema definition for our order ID, order date, region, product, category, price, and quantity using the struct field and the struct type. And then we have the sample data, just 8 transaction records for the year 2023. And then when I scroll to the bottom, we have this create Spark data frame named sales underscore DF, and then we are passing the sales data and the sales schema for the data and schema parameters of the spark.create data frame. Now I'm going to create a new cell at the bottom, and then we want to perform data transformation. So I'm going to copy this code and I'm going to paste in it. So basically we just want to extract the year from the order date column and extract the month number from the order date, and then we are performing a calculated column multiplying the price by the units, and it's going to be named sales amount. So we're using the with column method. And let me come back and copy this code to perform aggregation. So copy that, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, create a new cell, Control V, and then we are just performing total sales amount by region and category, and then we have the sales amount here. So we're going to be ordering by the region and category, and then we have the display method to display this. Now I'm going to come and copy another code here. So for this code, we're going to be writing the data as a delta table. So we have this sales underscore transformed dot write dot format, and this is going to be a delta table dot mode. So we're going to be overwriting if it exists, and then we're using the save as method. Now we're going to provide the 3 namespace, that is the name of the catalog, the name of the schema, and then the name of the table. Now for our demonstration, I'm going to be housing this table within this one data catalog and the sales schema. So inside this double quote, I'm going to type in one underscore data dot sales underscore schema dot, and then the name of the table. I'm going to call this on sales git data. So this is now specified. So I'm not going to run this code within this feature branch. So once we have all of this code ready, I'm going to swipe back to the workspace, and I can see the notebook for data processing within the feature branch. So I'm going to click on this. Now when I click on this, I'm going to see we have the added. So this simply we've added some code into the notebook for data processing .ipynb. So I can see all the code here for verification. Awesome. So I'm going to proceed to commit to the feature branch. So I'm just going to call this one sales 2023 underscore data transformation. And I'm going to just put in a description. Let me just go to sales data, and I'm going to click on commit and push. So when I click on that, we're going to see that the successfully committed and pushed changes to the feature branch is returned. Awesome. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to swipe back to my repository, and let's go to that specific Databricks dash repo. And then we can say in the main branch, we've got only the README file, but in the feature branch, we can see the option to compare and pull the request and match to the main branch. And quickly just swipe here and then we can see, there we go. So we have the notebook already. Cool. Now I'm not going to create the pull request from here because we can do that within the Databricks workspace. So I can say create a pull request on your Git provider. So click on that and a new tab is open automatically, and I can see the title, the description, and I'm going to click on the create pull request, and this is going to check for conflict, and if there's no conflict, in this case no conflict, I'm going to go ahead and click on match pull request and then click on the confirm match. So we can say pull request successfully matched and cloned. Awesome. Now I'm going to delete this feature branch because I don't need it for now. And I'm going to quickly scroll up a little bit and then check the main branch within my repository. And then we have the notebook for data processing.ipynb here. Awesome. I can click on it to check it out and I can see all the code in this preview. Awesome. Nice. Now I'm going to come back here and then I'm going to close this. And again, I'm going to quickly just swipe back to the main branch because that's the only branch we've got left anyway. And once that is fully loaded, I'm going to close this Databricks repo and I can just give this a refresh in order to be able to see the main branch here. Awesome. So I can click on it to check the code out so I can see the notebook coming up. And these are all the codes. Absolutely fantastic. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and run all the codes in the cells. So I'm going to just click on the run and then we have the option to run and debug. I'm actually doing this within the main branch. So run all. And once I click on that, this is going to automatically connect to my compute. And I can say this is now connected to my serverless, and I'm going to wait for some couple of maybe 3 minutes for all the cells to run. All things being equal, we should get the green check marks. So I'm going to pause this video and continue after the execution of the cells. Awesome. So we can say this took 9 seconds to run the first cell. And then we have the data transformation, the data processing, and then we can see the total sales by region and category. And then we have the data properly saved to our Delta table. So I'm going to come to my catalog and then I'm going to expand the one data catalog. I'm going to expand the sales schema, expand the tables, and then we can see the sales Git data. Click on that. And we can see under the overview, the columns and the data types. And I'm going to click on the sample data. Now this is going to prompt me to connect to a compute. So I'm going to connect to this prod SQL warehouse. Click on start the compute. And once that's started, I'm going to see the sample data with the 8 transactions that we entered into the notebook. Okay, so we have this data, which is absolutely fantastic. So all of these are done within the main branch. Now, as I've mentioned, we're going to create a Power BI desktop report on these data sets. And to do that, I can see the option to open in Power BI desktop. Now, we can also open in the AI BI dashboard within the Databricks ecosystem. And then we can open in Tableau desktop, Tableau cloud, as well as the Power BI service. But for this demonstration, we're going to be focusing on opening in Power BI desktop. So as soon as I click on that, this is going to prompt me to download connection file. And once I click on that, I can see that in my download. So I'm going to click on this. And when I click on that, I'm going to wait for maybe 3 minutes or less for the Power BI instance to come up. And when the Power BI instance is up and running, this is going to prompt us to either authenticate by using our Azure Active Directory, which is now known as Microsoft Entra ID, or we can authenticate using the personal access token, which we can generate from the Databricks workspace. So for this demonstration, I'm going to be using the personal access token from the Databricks workspace. So this is what I'm talking about. So to get the person access token, I'm going to come back here and then I'm going to close this for now. And I'm going to close this and I'm going to click at the top right hand corner, click on the settings. And then I want to come to the developer tab and then I can see the option to set up secure authentication to Databricks API using the access tokens. So click on manage and I want to generate a new token. I'm going to call this one Power BI token and I'm going to maintain the 90 days lifetime generate and I'm going to copy to the clipboard, click on done. I'm going to come back to the Power BI desktop. I'm going to get rid of this, Control V, click on the connect, and this is going to establish connection. And then you can see the two tables, sales underscore git underscore data. Click on that, and then you can see the preview. Now we don't need to take this to the Power Query for transformation because we've done that already. So I'm going to just click on the load, and it's going to load directly into the Power BI data model. And then we can just create a simple report visualizing the sales amount, and we can see the sales amount by the product. And then we go back to add more data into the notebook by creating a new feature branch, and we're going to merge to the main branch and see how everything goes. So there we go. We have the table. And I'm going to move this sales amount into the canvas. And you can see this actually spinning because this is using what's called a direct query. So this simply means now for everything we want to visualize in Power BI, as soon as we drag here, the request will be sent to the Databricks workspace. And once the request is released, the result is released, then we have it in Power BI. So that's why it's spinning. So I'm going to also drag the sales amount, and then I want to see this broken down by the product. And I'm going to turn this to a matrix, and there we go. And let's just increase the values for our table from 10 to 15 so that we can see it more broadly. Awesome. So we can say the total sales is 6,748. Absolutely fantastic. Now we've done this. We want to go ahead and add more data for the 2014 transaction. So I'm going to copy these and I want to come back to the Databricks here. I want to go back to the workspace. I want to come right into the Databricks repo and then I want to create a new feature branch. So click on that and then create a new feature branch, and I'm going to call this one feature / sales 2024 data. And again, I'm going to click on create, and I'm going to be doing the development work on top of that feature branch, and then we're going to create a pull request to merge to the main branch and see how everything integrates. Cool. So we have this ready, so I can close this and I can see the notebook for data processing, and we are right in the right branch. So click on this and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and I'm going to just come here, put in a enter, Control V to paste, and let me just align this properly, and I can get rid of this comma. I can maintain, it doesn't matter. So I'm not going to run anything here, so I can come back to the workspace and then I'm going to click on this and I can see we have something to merge. I will make some modification to the codes. Now you can scroll down to the bottom and you can see the new stuff we just added. Awesome. So I'm going to come to the commit message and say this is sales 2024 data, and I'm going to just add a description, new sales, and click on commit and push to this feature branch. So click on that and I'm going to wait. I'm going to say the notification successfully merged and pushed to the main branch, and I'm just going to fire the pull request, and a new tab is opened and this is able to merge. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, create a pull request, and no conflict or things being equal, merge pull request, confirm the merge. And I'm going to delete this branch and I'm going to scroll to the bottom up and go to the main branch, and I can open the notebook and I'm going to see the data we just added for the 2024. Absolutely cool. So this is done. I can come back to the Databricks workspace. I can close all of this for now. And then since we've deleted this, we need to reselect the main branch, and I can close this again and I can give this a quick refresh so that we can see the main branch. Okay, we're in the main. I can go back in it and then I can scroll down a little bit and see the transaction for the 2024. So I'm going to rerun all of this. So now, of course, we can schedule this, but that's not necessary for this demonstration. Run all the cells again. So once we run all the cells, yeah, everything's going to be done in a matter of seconds. Okay, yeah, and the last step is the writing to the table. Now, the override is actually giving us the possibility to drop what we had there before, and then we have the new records. So I'm going to come to the catalog, and when I come to the catalog, I can go to the one data just to verify, but I know everything is done already. Come to the tables, sales gate data, click on the sample data, and then we have the record here added. So I can come back to the Power BI again and give this a refresh. Now we should be able to see the new records. So refreshing, pay attention, and there goes 16,318. Absolutely awesome. Now I'm going to actually just change this quickly from summarize to do not summarize. So for now, I'm going to drag this, and this should give us 2013, and then we can drag the sales amount into okay. Okay, yeah, 2013 and 2014. Okay, let's turn it back to a table. Awesome. So we have the record for the 2014 and 2013. Now we want to see how we can roll back all the data for the 2024 and see what happens in the Power BI side. So I'm going to come back here. Now I'm going to be doing that from here, and I'm going to scroll up a little bit and then go back to the code. Now, for every pull request we initiated, we have some numbers that are attached. So we can say this is the number 2, that is the feature branch that is loaded data for the 2024. So we want to roll back, that is revert, by getting the 2024 data out. So I'm going to click on this number, and I'm back here. So you can see 2024 data, and this is number 2 pull request that we made. Now there's an option to revert, that is to roll back this. So as soon as I click on that, a new branch is going to be created, which is named revert -2 feature /sales underscore 2024.data, and this is able to match. So I can see the title, I can see the description, and I'm going to click on create pull request, and again this is going to check for conflicts, and no conflict, match pull request, and I'm going to confirm the margin, and this is now successfully done. So pull request successfully matched and closed. Now before deleting this, I'm going to quickly come back to the Databricks, and I'm going to just give this a refresh, and I can go back to the workspace, and I can go to the Git folder, and I'm going to quickly come here. So I'm going to quickly just select this, because this is what I found. I need to select this first, though not really compulsory. And once I click on that, okay, I can cancel this. So I'm right in here, and I'm going to come back here, and now this is within the revert tool, and I can see this is now reversed. Awesome. So now I'm going to come back here and swipe to the main branch, and when we go to the main branch, we shouldn't be able to see the data for the 2024. So let me just refresh, and then we have the main branch. Come to the notebook for data processing, and let's check it out. Amazing. So you can see that we have rolled back the data for the 2024 successfully. Now I can come back in here and delete this branch. Once that's deleted, now what happens to the Power BI? Of course, the whole thing will change. So as I've mentioned, we can schedule this, but I'm going to, again, for the third time, rerun all the cells in order for the Power BI to be able to get the changes to run all the cells, but in a production environment. So we need to schedule this so that we don't have to be running all the cells again and again. So I'm going to just come here. I think this is done. And for the sake of argument, come to the catalog, and I can go to the one data UC. I can expand the sales. And when I go to the sample tables, and then I go to the sample data tab, we can only see the 8 transaction. Absolutely awesome. And then when I come to the Power BI, now we see I have the 2014, 2024. Click on the refresh. Upon the refresh, let's see what happens, whether the rollback will occur or not. Absolutely magical. So we can see we are back to the initial state of the 2023 data. So this is how we can implement Git integration with Databricks Notebook and seeing the changes in Power BI desktop. So I hope you've learned something in this video. If you're done, please click on the subscribe button, share with your friends, comment, and follow me on LinkedIn for more content on Databricks and Azure. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.